Hey everybody, Rachel here from healinginourhomes.com, and today we're going to talk about cholesterol. Specifically, being on a ketogenic diet give you high cholesterol and make you have a heart attack. All right, if you're going to eat butter on everything and bacon every day and coconut oil and avocado on everything, are you going to die? That's what we're talking about today. So I am not a nurse or a doctor or a nutritionist. I am a mom, a researcher. Essential oils is my area of expertise. And so this is a little out of my realm here with all the science, but I'm having my own interesting experience with my cholesterol levels being on keto, and so I've been doing a lot of research and I want to pass it on. I want to share it with you. So I have been on keto for 7.5 months. I have lost 60 pounds. My insulin resistance numbers, which is basically like pre-diabetes, are better, and my iron levels are the best they've been in 10 years. My vitamin D levels are finally going up. I'm just everything's looking great except my cholesterol. So before I tell you my numbers and what's going on, maybe you're like me and cholesterol in general has a bad connotation, right? High cholesterol means you get a heart attack. And so let's just define it. Cholesterol is something that's required by every cell in your body. It's so vital. I have some notes here, so forgive me. And our bodies actually manufacture it. 75% of the cholesterol in our body is made by our bodies itself, not from our diet. 25% comes from diet approximately. It's made by your liver, brain, and almost every cell in your body. It's the structure, which is the base of all our sex hormones, bile acid, and vitamin D production. It maintains our cell walls, so it helps actually form those cell walls, keep them strong, allows cellular communication, which is really important, and transportation of substances. Cholesterol, contrary to what we were told for so long, is actually a poor predictor of heart disease. Now, just because certain measures of your cholesterol are high, that is a poor predictor of heart disease. There are some that are better predictors, so we're going to talk about that. It says half of those with heart disease have normal cholesterol levels. So there's other factors, obviously, that can cause heart attacks, not just cholesterol. All right, so in the human body, fats are mostly found in the bloodstream, and there's two main forms, triglycerides, and this is a fatty acid that stores energy to use later. You do not want your triglycerides to be too high. This can increase your risk of diabetes, cardiovascular illness, and other diseases. The other type of fat floating around in your body is cholesterol, and they have a lot of important functions. Remember, your body makes it for a reason. And so it builds hormones like estrogen and testosterone, and maintains your cells like we talked about, and helps you absorb vitamins. So you don't want low cholesterol, like too low, because your body won't be functioning as it's designed to function. Your body produces all the cholesterol you need through your liver and your cells, and then the rest, like I said, through food. So you've heard about cholesterol levels, and you've probably heard of HDL. That's your good cholesterol. This comes from good, healthy fats. It transports cholesterol around the body, and anything that's not being used, it transports it back to the liver to be recycled or destroyed. So it's important. It's good to have good HDL levels, and again, that comes from good, healthy fats in our diet. HDL prevents cholesterol from accumulating and clogging arteries. Elevated levels of cholesterol are integral in maintaining optimum cardiovascular health. Also, the HDL may have anti-inflammatory properties. Inflammation, I believe, is the root of almost all disease, and it's important to have low inflammation in our bodies. And I have a neat result with that with keto I'll tell you about at the end. So studies have found that a low-carb diet, less than 50 grams a day, is helpful in raising your good HDL cholesterol compared to normal fat, low-fat diets to lose weight. If it's very low, like the keto diet, which is less than 20 grams a day, it helps substantially more than a low-fat diet. So this is our quote-unquote good cholesterol, and then we have our bad cholesterol, which is LDL, low density. What are they called? Lipoproteins. That's what LDL stands for. And so where did I go here? everyone knows this as our bad cholesterol, and it really gets a bad rap. I love the way someone said it. They said it's at the scene of the crime a lot, but it's not the one who did it, all right? So there's two kinds of LDL particles or patterns, and this is the part where I started to get really riled up talking to my husband because you know, you go to the doctor and they're like, oh, your LDL-C is high and this and that. We're going to talk about diet and its effect on LDL, but they don't test for what type of LDL particles you have in particular. This is not on your standard cholesterol test. I have been tested for them, and I'll talk about that. But it's a specialized test, and it's not part of the normal protocol. Why? I don't know. Because pattern A, so this is one type of LDL particles, is large, fluffy, buoyant. It floats around your body. And the second type is B, and it's small and dense. So this particles can actually get in the nooks and crannies of your blood vessels, your arteries especially. So the B, LDL B, is actually the culprit for our clogged arteries and our risk for cardiovascular episodes like a heart attack or stroke. The A type are too big to get stuck in your blood vessels. They're not going to cause any problems. So your body's amazing, and if you're having an issue that's causing, say, tears or damage or something like that in your blood vessels or your arteries, the LDL is going to come along and try to repair, and it's going to repair it with that B type. All right, so your body's actually trying to do something good. Now, what's the damage come from? Inflammation. So you have inflammation and it's causing damage, and the LDL B particles, they're sticky and they're small, and they're going to get in there like plaster and try to fix that for you. That's a good thing. However, your body doesn't think, you know, if I repair this every day, I'm going to have a heart attack. Maybe I shouldn't do that, right? It's just trying to save you today. All right, your body is all about today, and it's going to do what it's got to do. So if you're having high inflammation, and as we're going to talk about, this comes from sugar and carbs in your diet, those Bs are going to go in and do their job. Well, they go in and cause artery and plaque and buildup, right? And then you have a heart attack, and they get blamed. They're not the one who pulled the trigger. It was the sugar and the inflammation who started it, right? They started it. That's who started it. So these LDL-Bs, you want them to be in a lower ratio. You want them to be low, you know, because they can get stuck and cause problems. But the A's are fine. They don't hurt you. So you can have high LDL, and it's type A mostly, and you're totally at no risk, an additional risk of having a heart attack. And what this is determined by is your diet. So sugar and carbs increase type B, LDL type B, or pattern B. And so they increase your risk for heart attack, stroke, all those types of things. So eating a high fat, healthy fats, no soybean, no canola, no junk, high, good, healthy fats, increase your good cholesterol. They produce more LDL pattern A cholesterol. So a lot of people on a keto diet have that LDL go up, right? But it's key to know that it's likely type A if you're not eating sugar. All right, so eating more good fat raises your healthy, fluffy type A particles, and eating more sugar gives you B, angry little particles, this article calls them. So how do you get these higher levels of angry, bad, sticky, heavy, dense LDL-B particles? This comes from something called glycation. And glycation occurs when there's too much glucose in the blood, which is from eating sugar and carbs. If you have read the book, I read the book years ago, Wheat Belly, and it talks about how whole wheat bread can spike your insulin more than sugar. So this is not just sugar. We're talking about grains, whole wheat, all kinds of carbs that cause inflammation. Inflammation raises your blood sugar. It raises your appetite. It raises your triglycerides, which remember we don't want to be high, and your type B LDL. This is your biggest risk for heart disease by far. Lowering your sugar lowers your insulin, which lowers your triglycerides, which lowers your risk. Cholesterol is only a problem when it's oxidized, when it's damaged, when it's sticking, right? And that is from inflammation, right? See this circular pattern here. So inflammation is really the cause of heart disease. So if you're eating a ketogenic diet and you're eating good healthy foods and good healthy fats and your cholesterol is going up, you don't need to be worried, in my opinion. And I'm not a doctor, and you should talk to your doctor and blah, blah, blah. But let me tell you about what mine say. So before keto, my total cholesterol was 161, which is in the good range. My bad cholesterol, remember, poor dude has a bad rap. LDL-C was okay at 101. My HDL, or my good, was at 51. It was okay. Triglycerides were good at 88. And my LDL-P, which is particle size, which also is more of an indicator of heart issues, was bad, 1380. At my 3-month checkup, 3 months on keto, I lost 30 pounds. My blood sugars were better. BMI was down. Everything was better. All were worse except for my triglycerides were still the same. My HDL, my good, actually went down, which I was like, I'm eating so many stinking avocados. I don't know how that could possibly happen. But it was after quite a stressful trip I'd taken. So I think that was playing into part of that. Because stress can affect inflammation big time. So I just had my 6-month blood work done. My total cholesterol went up again to 209. It's in the red zone, in the bad high zone. It's in a red box, which was traumatizing. My LDL, or my bad cholesterol, was up again to 136. My good cholesterol was up back over where I started. So that was a very, very good sign. And my triglycerides were tiny bit up, but still in very safe, good zone. I think they were 85 or 88 or something. And my LDL-P was down. So that was good because LDL-P, those particles, we don't want those high. It's still high, but it's on the way down. Here's the biggest thing, all right? My inflammation was, at my 3-month checkup, was 3.2. Now remember, I just been on a stressful trip, so I really believe that was a factor, but originally it was 2.7. Very high inflammation. I had, aches and pains in my joints, felt sick all the time. My inflammation from this month, January 2018, was 0.9. That is like the best part of getting my blood taken. It makes resisting all that sugar so worth it, because inflammation is the root of disease, and your body needs inflammation to breed this disease, right? And so anyways, I posted in my keto group the first time it happened at 3 months. I'm like, what the heck? My cholesterol's up. This is a keto group online, Facebook. And they said, give it time. Around the 6-month mark, it starts to even out, right? Typically. So I posted again. I said, what the heck? It's up again. And they said, someone gave me a video by Dave Feldman. And he's like, it sounds like you're a hyper responder. And I don't think I actually am based on his criteria, but I went and watched this fascinating talk by Dave Feldman, and he had the same experience. He had lost weight, he felt better than ever, and he went to the doctor and his cholesterol went up. So the doctor said, oh, you're eating too much fat and blah, blah, blah. So, which is what they told me, eat less red meat and exercise. And so, I read all these articles and talked to friends, red meat doesn't, raise your cholesterol and this and that. But it is kind of our stereotypical. It's one of those things like eggs are bad, right? We know eggs are good. Good, healthy red meat is fine. But anyways, so Dave Feldman went on a low-fat diet for his doctor, excuse me, and retested, and his cholesterol was worse. So he decided to start doing blood tests and kind of playing around with his diet. So when he did a super high fat, good fats now, good healthy fats, super high fat, ketogenic diet 3 days before his blood test, his cholesterol went way, way down. There was a very strong inverse relationship between when he ate high fat, his cholesterol went down. When he ate low fat, his cholesterol went up. And so he began to look into this. So he pulled his sister in, and him and his sister ate identical diets, like measured and weighed, like super identical diets. And she had a very strongly correlated experience. So they ate high fat, they both went down. They ate low fat, they both went up. Now her numbers were nowhere near as high as him. I was closer to her numbers, which by definition is not a hyper responder to cholesterol and whatever, but anyways, regardless, she had the same experience. So your cholesterol moves around your body. It goes in and out of your organs. It gets used. It gets delivered. It's doing all its jobs all day long. And this cycle kind of repeats itself in every couple, like 3 days, I think, 3 to 5 days, somewhere in there. So what he found was that those 3 days before your blood test were most important. And that's basically when you get your cholesterol tested, it's based off the last 3 days. It's not based off the last 3 months. It's not like, you know, when they do the test for insulin resistance and they can tell if you had a lot of sugar in the last 3 months. It's just the last 3 days. And so he began to gather people who were willing to do these experiments. They'd eat low fat, take their blood cholesterol up, eat high fat, ketogenic, cholesterol go down. So I'm gonna try it before my next one in April. I'm gonna eat 3 days and keto ratios, as much good healthy fats as I can possibly get in. He was eating 5,000 calories. I know there's no way I can eat that much. But I'm gonna try it and see if my cholesterol goes down. I'm really interested to see, and then I'll tell him what they did if it works. So anyways, that led me into reading more on this cholesterol and finding out about this A and this B, good types of bad cholesterol and bad types of bad cholesterol. So it just fired me up because you take Joe Schmo. Joe Schmo goes to the doctor. He eats a standard American diet, right? It includes a lot of sugar. Like the average American just eats a ton of sugar. They don't even know how much sugar they're eating. Maybe a Starbucks drink, maybe eat some yogurt, has a ton of sugar added to it, whatever, eats ketchup on his fries, you know, whatever. And so Joe Schmo has high cholesterol because he eats like crap. And so the doctor says, you know, you need to eat a low-fat diet and da-da-da-da. Joe Schmo comes back after eating a low-fat diet and his cholesterol is worse, and so the doctor puts him on a medication, on a statin, and there he stays for the rest of his life, right? We actually have family members, Jesus hold me, they're getting older, and their doctor, their cholesterol was starting to increase, and the doctor said, you know, unless you want to change your diet, we should probably just put you on a statin. So they just went on a statin, just because it's easier than changing their diet. This is the American way, and it's not a way, because statins are a multi-billion-dollar industry. They want patients to have these lower and lower ranges, which again, we need cholesterol. We don't want low cholesterol that can actually inhibit all kinds of things, our body's ability to fight infection, cellular growth, or whatever. And statins have these huge side effects. So some common side effects are memory loss, muscle damage, diabetes, loss of energy, low immunity. Statins reduce hormone production, bile production, and vitamin D. That's not good. That's not good. We can't just eat sugar and keep taking drugs, all right? We're gonna end up worse off. So don't think low-fat whole grain is better. You're actually not doing your heart any favors. This is just what they've been telling us for so long, and like so much in the pharmaceutical industry, it's way, way off base. Sugar causes inflammation and causes disease. This bad science, you know, got us into this mess. So I